Rory Cowan, Jennifer Gibney, and Danny O'Carroll. Names that defined the heart of Mrs. Brown's Boys, faces that fans laughed with, cried with, and came to know as part of their living rooms. And then, one by one, they were gone. The exits were sudden to the audience, shocking in a way that made fans wonder what had happened behind the cameras. It was more than scripts, punchlines, or touring schedules. It was about human lives under pressure, choices made in private, and the personal costs of giving everything to a show that demanded so much. These departures weren't scandals in the tabloid sense, but the silence around them spoke volumes. Every joke, every scene, every improvised moment had been built on years of trust, energy, and emotional investment. When these actors stepped away, it left gaps that no script could fully fill. The laughter continued, but behind it was a quieter story of struggle, endurance, and evolving priorities. Fans wondered what drove them to leave, what they sacrificed, and what they carried with them when they walked away. Today we uncover the real reasons, the human stories, and the hidden pressures that shaped their decisions, revealing a truth far richer than any headline could capture. Rory Cowan, Jennifer Gibney, and Danny O'Carroll were the faces of Mrs. Brown's Boys, each bringing energy, timing, and heart to the series. Their departures marked a turning point for the show, not because of drama, but because of the human realities behind long-term commitment to a demanding production. Rory Cowan, who portrayed the mischievous Rory Brown, left the series in 2017. Years of touring, filming, and public appearances had created a pace that demanded constant performance, and the intensity required more than professional skill. It demanded endurance and resilience, which eventually led him to prioritize mental health and personal stability over maintaining his role. His departure was a conscious choice to preserve well-being, and it reflected the unseen pressures that accompany fame and long-term success. Jennifer Gibney, the emotional anchor of the Brown family, approached her gradual reduction in on-screen work differently. Her portrayal of Kathy Brown had always been grounded, offering warmth and stability amid the chaos of the Brown household. Off-screen, she balanced professional commitments with family life, navigating schedules, tours, and public appearances while ensuring her children's needs were met. Over time, she chose to step back from certain responsibilities to protect her personal life and maintain balance. Her decision emphasized that sustaining a career in a demanding industry requires awareness of limits, careful prioritization, and respect for one's own life outside of work. Danny O'Carroll, who played Buster Brady, followed a path that highlighted growth and creative exploration. Known for his vibrant presence and improvisational energy, he gradually shifted focus toward production, writing, and behind-the-scenes responsibilities. His choice allowed him to remain integral to the show, while exploring avenues for long-term contribution beyond acting. Danny's decision demonstrated that evolving priorities can coexist with loyalty to a project, reflecting ambition balanced with commitment. For Brendan O'Carroll, the creator and central figure, managing these departures required both professional guidance and personal understanding. The bonds formed through years of collaboration meant that the exits were not simply logistical adjustments. They were moments of emotional significance. Each actor's departure altered the rhythm of rehearsals, filming, and daily interaction on set, yet Brendan maintained focus on preserving the integrity and continuity of the series. He recognized the dedication Rory, Jennifer, and Danny had given over the years, appreciating that their choices came from personal priorities, the need for balance and long-term well-being rather than any tension or disagreement. The impact of these departures extended beyond production logistics. Scenes had to be recalibrated, pacing adjusted, and interactions reimagined to maintain the show's tone. The actor's absence was noticeable to audiences, yet it also revealed the invisible threads that had held the series together for years: trust, collaboration, and shared history. Even as roles shifted, the foundation they built remained. guiding performances and sustaining the humor, heart, and relatability that had made the series resonate with millions. These transitions illustrate the reality of long-term commitment in entertainment. Success on screen is inseparable from the human effort, endurance, and emotional investment that make it possible. Rory Cowan, Jennifer Gibney, and Danny O'Carroll each contributed decades of dedication, and their departures reflect thoughtful decisions to balance personal life with professional responsibility. The series continued, carrying the imprint of their energy, talent, and humanity. Their exits were not endings, but transitions, moments of courage, reflection, and care that underscored the human story behind every laugh, every scene, and every performance that fans had come to love. Behind the laughter of Mrs. Brown's Boys was a reality few audiences ever saw. Filming schedules stretched long into evenings, tours demanded constant travel, and public appearances added layers of responsibility that went beyond the scripts. For Rory Cowan, Jennifer Gibney, and Danny O'Carroll, every performance required not only skill and timing but the emotional labor of sustaining energy under relentless expectation. The public saw the jokes, the improvisation, the warmth of the Brown household, but they did not see the endurance that made it possible. Rory Cowan's role as Rory Brown demanded continuous attention to detail, from perfect timing in comedic moments to navigating improvisation that kept scenes fresh. Over the years, the rhythm of work grew intense, and the demands of live shows, filming, and tours placed continuous strain on both body and mind. The combination of long days and high expectations created pressure that required constant resilience. Rory's choice to step away in 2017 reflected the quiet recognition of limits, a decision rooted in sustaining personal well-being rather than dissatisfaction with the show or colleagues. Jennifer Gibney's experience behind the scenes was equally complex, though it manifested differently. Playing Kathy Brown required grounding presence, a calmness that balanced chaos while allowing other characters to shine. Off-screen, she navigated family commitments alongside her professional responsibilities, carefully managing schedules that often conflicted with personal life. The gradual reduction of her on-screen role allowed her to maintain this balance, preserving her connection to both family and work without compromising either. Her decision illustrates the unseen reality of long-term careers. Maintaining harmony between personal life and public demands requires conscious, ongoing negotiation. Danny O'Carroll's work spanned both on-screen performance and behind-the-scenes creativity. As Buster Brady, he brought unpredictable energy, improvising moments that became signature elements of the show. Gradually, he shifted focus toward production and writing, contributing to the creative process in ways that extended beyond acting. This transition allowed him to remain deeply involved while exploring new professional capacities. His trajectory demonstrates that the pressures of performance often coexist with opportunities for growth, and that stepping back from the spotlight can provide both sustainability and renewed creative influence. For Brendan O'Carroll and the wider creative team, these departures required careful adjustment. Each change altered the established rhythm of rehearsals, filming, and touring and required patience, collaboration, and adaptability. Maintaining the continuity of the show depended on both the experience of remaining cast members and the structural framework built over years of working together. The chemistry that audiences had grown to love was not easily replicated, and each scene demanded awareness of what had been established while allowing space for new dynamics to emerge. The pressures behind the camera were not always visible, but were deeply felt. Long hours, physical demands, public attention, and the emotional labor of sustaining humor placed ongoing demands on the actors. Despite these challenges, Rory, Jennifer, and Danny continued to give performances that were polished, warm, and authentic, drawing audiences into the Brown household and making the series feel alive. Their commitment shaped the show's identity, embedding human nuance into moments of laughter. The reality of life behind the scenes underscores the human effort that sustains success. Every joke required preparation, Every improvisation required emotional presence, and every tour demanded endurance. The departures, though sometimes surprising to fans, reflected personal choices, grounded in care for health, family, and creative fulfillment. The work of Rory Cowan, Jennifer Gibney, and Danny O'Carroll behind the scenes left a lasting imprint on the show, revealing the quiet, human side of producing comedy, where dedication, balance, and resilience are as essential as talent. For Jennifer Gibney, the role of Kathy Brown extended far beyond the scripts. She was the stabilizing presence in a household of chaos, bringing warmth and emotional depth to every scene. Off-screen, her responsibilities were equally demanding. Balancing filming schedules with family life required constant attention and careful prioritization. The pressures of touring, public appearances, and long days on set were not abstract. They were lived experiences that tested endurance, patience, and emotional resilience. Over time, Jennifer made the conscious choice to step back from certain on-screen commitments. Her decision was not born from dissatisfaction, but from a need to protect the delicate balance between her career and family, a reflection of priorities evolving as life circumstances shifted. Rory Cowan experienced the pressures of performing in a different way. His role as Rory Brown demanded constant energy, precise timing, and a readiness to respond to improvisation at any moment. The combination of live performances, extensive travel, and the relentless pace of filming created a strain that was both physical and emotional. After years of giving himself fully to the role, Rory recognized the necessity of prioritizing his mental and emotional well-being. His departure in 2017 was a careful decision to preserve stability and self-care. It highlighted the unseen toll of sustained creative performance and the human need to step back when the cost of continuing becomes too high. Danny O'Carroll navigated another dimension of evolving priorities. Known for his unpredictability and comedic energy as Buster Brady, he gradually shifted focus toward production, writing, and behind-the-scenes creative work. His transition allowed him to maintain his connection to the show while exploring avenues that offered longevity and professional growth. Danny's choice reflects the nuanced reality of a career in entertainment. Evolving responsibilities and personal growth often require changes in engagement, not withdrawal from passion or commitment. His path illustrates that sustaining a role over time is as much about adaptation and foresight as it is about performance. Brendan O'Carroll, as the creator and lead figure, experienced these shifts as both professional and deeply personal. The exits of Rory, Jennifer, and Danny altered established rhythms, impacting rehearsals, filming, and the emotional dynamics on set. Each departure required awareness, patience, and sensitivity to preserve continuity while respecting the individual decisions that shaped them. Brendan consistently acknowledged the contributions of each actor, appreciating that their choices were rooted in human needs, personal priorities, and the long-term sustainability of both life and career. The personal struggles of these actors were not always visible to the public, yet they were integral to understanding the story behind the series. Long-term success in a demanding production comes with cumulative strain, physical, emotional, and relational. The decisions to step back, reduce responsibilities, or shift focus were deeply human, reflecting thoughtful consideration and self-awareness. Rory, Jennifer, and Danny each demonstrated courage in making these choices, prioritizing well-being while maintaining respect for the work, the show, and the audience. These evolving priorities illustrate a fundamental truth about life behind the scenes. Creative work is inseparable from human experience. The laughter and warmth on screen are sustained by dedication, endurance, and choices that honor both personal life and professional commitment. The departures of Jennifer Gibney, Rory Cowan, and Danny O'Carroll were transitions, not endings. They reveal the human cost of long-term performance and the quiet bravery required to navigate it. Their decisions shaped not only their own lives, but also the ongoing vitality of the show, leaving a legacy rooted in integrity, dedication, and emotional honesty. The departures of Rory Cowan, Jennifer Gibney, and Danny O'Carroll reshaped Mrs. Brown's Boys in ways both visible on screen and quietly felt behind the cameras. The absence of familiar faces altered the rhythm of interactions, the timing of comedy, and the dynamics that had made the series resonate with audiences for years. Rory's mischievous energy had been a constant counterpoint to Agnes Brown's presence, while Jennifer's grounding warmth provided emotional stability to the household. Danny's unpredictability brought spark and spontaneity, punctuating moments with life and surprise. Adjusting to their absence required more than rewrites. It demanded an awareness of the emotional texture each had contributed, and a careful recalibration to maintain the heart of the show. Behind the cameras, the emotional impact was tangible. Brendan O'Carroll, as creator and central figure, navigated both professional responsibility and personal connection. Years of collaboration had forged bonds that went beyond work, resembling family more than a cast. Rory, Jennifer, and Danny were confidants and collaborators, not just performers. Their absence created pauses in familiar routines and subtle shifts in energy. Brendan recognized the importance of honoring their decisions while preserving the continuity of the show, acknowledging that the departures reflected personal priorities, growth, and well-being, rather than conflict or resentment. The remaining creative team faced the challenge of sustaining cohesion. Scenes that had relied on established chemistry required adaptation, and new performers or temporary replacements had to find their place within the framework already built over years. The interplay of trust, patience, and collaboration became critical as the team worked to maintain the warmth, humor, and relatability that had defined the series. The experience highlighted the depth of effort necessary to support a long-running show, revealing that the true strength of Mrs. Brown's Boys lay in collective dedication rather than individual performances alone. For Rory Cowan, stepping away meant leaving behind a role that had shaped his career and connected him to countless fans, but also releasing the weight of relentless public expectation. Jennifer Gibney's gradual reduction of duties allowed her to honor family responsibilities while maintaining a connection to the show that had been central to her life. Danny O'Carroll's transition toward production reflected growth, ambition, and the desire to continue contributing in a meaningful way. Each departure, though different in circumstances, shared the common thread of balancing personal needs with professional commitment. The legacy of their contributions remained evident in every scene. Rory's timing, Jennifer's grounding presence, and Danny's energy continued to influence performances, dialogue, and the tone of the series. The creative framework they had helped shape endured, guiding remaining actors and crew through transitions. Their work provided a foundation that sustained the show, demonstrating that success in long-running productions depends not only on talent but on relationships, trust, and shared history. Ultimately, the story of these departures is a story of human connection and resilience. The show persisted not by replacing actors but by honoring the trust, dedication, and collaboration that had always been at its core. Each exit was a reminder of the human realities behind every laugh, every improvisation, and every scene that felt effortless on screen. The impact of Rory Cowan, Jennifer Gibney, and Danny O'Carroll extended far beyond their roles, shaping the series' identity, sustaining its spirit, and leaving a lasting mark on the creative team and audiences alike. The story of Mrs. Brown's Boys is not simply the story of its episodes or its humor, it is a story of the people who brought it to life. Rory Cowan, Jennifer Gibney, and Danny O'Carroll were central to the identity of the series, and their departures marked moments of change that tested both the production and the individuals themselves. Each decision to step back or shift focus was grounded in human priorities, reflecting thoughtful consideration of personal life, creative growth, and long-term well-being. These choices were acts of courage, made quietly and deliberately, yet they had profound effects on the series, the creative team, and the audience who had come to know them so well. Rory Cowan's exit in 2017 highlighted the toll of sustained performance. Known for his mischievous timing and energy as Rory Brown, he had carried the weight of live performance, touring and filming with dedication. Stepping away allowed him to focus on mental health and personal stability, a decision that required both self-awareness and the courage to leave a role that had defined much of his professional life. The absence of his energy and timing was noticeable, but it also illuminated the human cost behind sustained creativity. Jennifer Gibney's gradual reduction of on-screen responsibilities reflected the ongoing balance between career and family. Her role as Kathy Brown had always provided warmth, grounding, and emotional depth. By choosing to step back in order to prioritize her family, she demonstrated the careful negotiation between personal responsibilities and professional commitment. Her decision underscored that longevity in a career often depends on the ability to manage multiple aspects of life with intention and care, without compromising integrity or quality of work. Danny O'Carroll's transition to production and creative oversight offered a different perspective on evolving priorities. His role as Buster Brady had been marked by improvisational energy and unpredictability, but shifting focus behind the camera allowed him to remain essential to the show while expanding his skills and responsibilities. His choice illustrates the capacity for growth within an established framework, showing that stepping into new roles can sustain engagement, influence, and creative contribution over time. For Brendan O'Carroll, managing these transitions demanded both leadership and understanding. Each departure altered on-set dynamics, rehearsal rhythms, and daily interactions. Yet the trust, respect, and history shared among the remaining cast and crew provided resilience. The show continued because it had been built on collaboration, dedication, and human connection, not simply the presence of individual performers. The creative foundation established by Rory, Jennifer, and Danny remained a guiding influence, shaping performances, dialogue, and the tone of the series. The departures also served as a reflection of the quiet strength required in entertainment. Long-term success is not simply a measure of talent or audience numbers, but the ability to navigate personal limits, evolving priorities, and emotional realities with care. Rory, Jennifer, and Danny made decisions that honored themselves, their families, and the show, leaving a legacy that continues to influence the series and the people who create it. Their work endures in every scene, every improvised moment, and every interaction that carries forward the heart of Mrs. Brown's boys. Ultimately, the series persisted not despite the departures, but in a way that honored the contributions of those who left. Their choices were acts of courage and self-awareness, reflecting the humanity behind every performance. The story of their exits reminds audiences that behind the laughter, dedication, and craft lies the reality of personal sacrifice, thoughtful decisions, and resilience. Rory Cowan, Jennifer Gibney, and Danny O'Carroll remain integral to the spirit and legacy of the series, shaping its identity and sustaining its heart in ways that continue to resonate with viewers. For more emotional stories, check out this video.